France just changed the balance of power at sea. And they did it with a single announcement. A warship so large, so powerful, that it will officially be the biggest warship ever built in European history. A carrier that will carry almost double the weight of the ship it replaces. A vessel named after one of the most legendary resistance movements of World War II. And here is the part that will make you stop and think, this thing will be so massive that the old carrier sitting next to it would look like a support ship. France's new aircraft carrier is called the France Libre. And what they are building right now is on a level that most people have not yet realized. Stay with us through this video, because there are details here. Specific numbers, specific technology, and specific decisions that will completely change the way you see French naval power. And we are just getting started. France has been a nuclear naval power for decades. Most people know that. But here is something that often gets overlooked. For a country with global responsibilities, global territories, and a long, proud history of military force, France has been running with just one aircraft carrier. Just one. A single ship. And when that ship goes in for maintenance, France has no carrier. Zero, that was the reality for years. And that one ship, the Charles de Gaulle, which entered service back in 2001, did an extraordinary job for what it was. But it had limits. Real limits. And now France is done accepting those limits. The Charles de Gaulle has been France's one and only aircraft carrier since it was commissioned in 2001. It weighs in at around 42,000 tons fully loaded. It is 261 meters long. It carries a mix of Rafale M fighters, Hawkeye surveillance planes, and helicopters. It has 2 steam catapults, the same basic catapult technology used on older U.S. Navy carriers. And by any standard, it has been a capable ship. French and U.S. Navy pilots have actually landed on each other's carriers during joint exercises. That level of trust and interoperability between two of the world's finest navies speaks for itself. But the Charles de Gaulle also came with headaches. During early service, there were propeller problems. The flight deck had to be extended because certain aircraft could not safely use the original length. There were radiation exposure concerns for crew members, later traced back to specifications that had been updated after the ship was already built. And during a major overhaul that ran through 2017 and 2018, France had no available aircraft carrier for 18 months straight. For a nation with the second largest maritime zone in the world, over 1.5 million citizens living in overseas territories. 18 months without a carrier is not a small gap. It is a serious strategic hole. That gap drove the conversation about what France needed next, and what France decided it needed was something entirely different in scale. Here is where the numbers start to get impressive. The France Libre, formerly known by the program name P1, which stands for Porte Avions de Nouvelle Génération, meaning New Generation Aircraft Carrier, is a ship of an entirely different category. Let us go through what we know. Length, 310 meters. That is roughly the length of 3 football fields. Compare that to the Charles de Gaulle at 261 meters. That is an extra 50 meters of ship. Displacement, 78,000 to 80,000 tons fully loaded. The Charles de Gaulle sits at 42,000 tons, so the France Libre will weigh nearly double, nearly twice the tonnage. That is not an upgrade. That is a generational leap. Flight deck surface area, 17,200 square meters. That gives deck crews far more room to work, move aircraft, and run multiple operations at the same time, which leads to one of the most operationally significant changes this carrier brings. Before we go deeper into what makes this carrier's technology so extraordinary, take just a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. More than 98% of people watching right now have not subscribed. It costs you nothing, and it keeps great military content coming your way. Go ahead, then come right back. Now here is one of the biggest practical improvements the France Libre will bring. On the Charles de Gaulle, the ship cannot launch and recover aircraft at the same time. The two steam catapults and the angled landing area overlap in a way that makes simultaneous operations impossible. That limits how many aircraft can cycle through in a given period of time, what the military calls sortie generation rate. On the France Libre, that problem is gone. The ship is large enough and designed carefully enough that it will be able to launch aircraft from one end while recovering aircraft at the other at the same time. For combat operations, that kind of efficiency could make the difference between a successful mission and a missed window. And the catapult system itself? This is where a very familiar name enters the picture. The France Libre will be equipped with 3 EMALS systems, electromagnetic aircraft launch systems supplied by General Atomics, the same American defense company behind the technology used on the U.S. Navy's USS Gerald R. Ford class carriers. This is not just symbolically significant, it is tactically significant. EMALS applies a smooth, controlled magnetic force to launch aircraft rather than the sudden, violent punch of a steam catapult. That means less stress on airframes, faster reload times, and more consistent launches across different aircraft weights. Alongside those 3 EMALS catapults, the France Libre will also use 3 sets of advanced arresting gear, the same system on the Ford class. So when a French carrier and an American carrier are operating near each other, their aircraft could theoretically land on each other's decks. That kind of operational compatibility with the U.S. Navy is not an accident. It is a deliberate design choice, and it reflects just how closely France and the United States continue to work together in naval operations. Now let us talk about what powers this ship, because this is where France maintains its absolute commitment to independence. The France Libre will be driven by 2 Technikotomi K-22 nuclear reactors. These are brand new reactor designs, the most powerful naval reactors ever built for a French surface ship. Each reactor produces 220 megawatts of power. Together, they push the ship through the water at up to 27 knots across 3 shaft lines. And because the ship is nuclear-powered, it essentially has unlimited range. The crew needs food and supplies, but the reactors never need to stop for fuel. That is strategic independence in one of its purest forms. Work on these reactors has already started. In September 2025, Naval Group's Cherbourg facility began manufacturing the first components for the France Libre's nuclear reactors. Those components are among the most complex pieces of the entire build, and France got them moving first, because you do not want to be waiting on your reactor when your ship is supposed to launch. The name France Libre carries its own weight. It was announced by French President Emmanuel Macron on March 18, 2026. France Libre, which translates directly to Free France, was the name of the wartime government in exile led by General Charles de Gaulle during World War II, when France was under German occupation. The Free French forces continued fighting alongside the Allies when the French government had surrendered. They kept the flame alive. They never accepted defeat. Naming this carrier France Libre is a statement. It says that France's identity, independence, and will to defend itself and its allies are not things that get surrendered. They are things that get carried forward, generation after generation. And Macron said exactly that when he made the announcement. He described the carrier as the embodiment of France's will to remain free and to project that freedom wherever France's interests demand it, anywhere in the world. So where does this ship fit in the global picture? This is the part that matters if you are watching from an American perspective. When the France Libre enters service in 2038, it will be the largest warship ever built in Europe, larger than Britain's Queen Elizabeth-class carriers, larger than anything any other European country has ever put in the water. At around 78,000 tons, it will sit in a similar weight class to the British carriers, but it will actually be physically bigger in terms of length and deck space. And think about what that means for NATO. The France Libre, equipped with the same EMALS and arresting gear as U.S. Navy carriers, crewed by French sailors, who regularly train alongside American forces carrying aircraft that can operate from American decks, this ship does not just represent French power. It represents a significantly strengthened alliance capability. When France and the U.S. operate together, a France Libre in the mix is a force multiplier for everyone on the right side. For context, the Charles de Gaulle joined a U.S. carrier strike group during Operation Enduring Freedom in 2002. U.S. President George W. Bush publicly recognized that France had deployed nearly one-fourth of its navy to support that mission. The bond between French and American naval forces has been built over decades of real-world operations, and the France Libre takes that partnership to an entirely new level. Now here is something that is worth sitting with as we get toward the end of this story. France is building exactly one France Libre. No sister ship is currently planned, which means when it is ready in 2038 and when the Charles de Gaulle is retired that same year, France will again have just one carrier. The problem of zero carrier coverage during maintenance is not being permanently solved. It will happen again, just with a much more powerful ship at the center. Some French defense analysts have questioned whether 10 billion euros, the total program cost, could have been better distributed across more frigates, more submarines, more air defense systems. But the French government's position is clear. The aircraft carrier is the centerpiece of French military doctrine. It is how France projects sovereign power without depending on anyone else's permission. That philosophy does not change with the bill. Construction of the hull is scheduled to begin in 2032 at the Chantier de l'Atlantique shipyard in Saint-Nazaire, the largest shipyard in Europe and the only dry dock in France capable of handling a ship this size. From there, the France Libre will be transferred to Toulon Naval Base in mid-2035 for outfitting and nuclear fueling. Sea trials are expected around 2036, and commissioning is set for 2038. The program will support an average of 8,800 jobs across France over that entire 12-year construction period. At peak activity, it is expected to directly or indirectly employ up to 14,000 people. This is not just a defense project. It is an industrial undertaking of national scale. France has been a proud ally and a serious military power for a long time. The men and women who have served on the Charles de Gaulle have done something remarkable with a single ship over more than 2 decades, deploying to Afghanistan, the Mediterranean, the Indo-Pacific, and now the Middle East, side by side with American and Allied forces. The France Libre is what comes next, nearly twice the size, 3 times the catapults, more aircraft, more deck space, more range, more power, a name that ties it directly to one of history's most powerful acts of resistance and determination. This ship is still years away from the water, but the decision has been made, the reactors are already being built, and the vision is clear. France is not stepping back from its role in the world. It is building something that will carry that role forward for the next 40 years. If you found this breakdown useful, hit the like button right now and make sure you are subscribed. New military content goes up regularly, and you do not want to miss what is coming next.